What's good, everybody? It's your guy Nick back with another video, and today I want to be going over my official wish list for WWE 2K23. Now, at this point in time, I have no clue if 2K23 will be coming out the same time as it did last year, which was March. Maybe it will be. My instincts are telling me it will be coming out, but this wish list will work either way. It doesn't matter when the game comes out. This is the wish list that it's going to be for me. I mean, either way, we're over the 6-month period of this game's life cycle, 2K22, and, you know, it was an alright game. It was certainly better than 2K20. Was it better than 2K19? I mean, you could argue it. I mean, it was certainly, you could make an argument that it was better than 2K19 console, but some people would probably say otherwise. 2K19 PC is definitely still better than 22 on console. That's for sure. I mean, 22 PC, I've seen some of the mods for it, but even those mods I don't think stack up to 2K19 PC, to be honest with you. But 22 was a okay game. It was definitely better than 2K20, but there are some notable things that they can still change for 2K23. And some of these things that I'm about to talk about are common sense and things that shouldn't have left the series in the first place. But some of these things are going to be pretty ideal things that anyone would think to add these back if they had control over 2K. So let's get into it. The first couple things on my list, again, pretty basic things, pretty common knowledge things, are in regards to match types. Now, everyone knows what I'm about to say if you're watching this video. You already know where I'm going with this. This is about to be something we've been asking for over 10 years now, literally over a decade. We've been asking for these match types back. I still have no clue why 2K hasn't brought them back, and if people are going to give the excuse that it's too hard to implement these things, bro, there's people on the PC that are implementing these things on their own. If people on the PC who aren't getting paid to do it on the PC can do it, 2K can do it, and they can get paid for it. So I don't want to hear excuses. Match types, I mean, we can go one by one if you guys want. I mean, it's very simple. Special guest referee. This match is obviously the most requested out of any match type. I mean, if you had to choose one, I'm pretty sure most people would go with special guest referee. But it's not just special guest referee. Also, matches like what we saw at Extreme Rules 2022, the I Quit match. Edge and Balor had a fantastic I Quit match. Add this back into the game again. Not that hard. All you have to do is implement a microphone into the ref's hand, and you just add the mechanics of the referee asking the person if they want to quit. It still has the same basis of an Extreme Rules match, except a microphone is involved. How hard can that be? War Games, now I can see how this matchup could be hard, but you could also make the case that War Games should have been in the game 5 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years ago. This match should have already been the game you can make. I understand, though, if it isn't in the game. I mean, it's a tough match to implement. We're talking about going from 1 ring to 2. I don't know how that would work in WWE games, but it's still on my wish list either way because it's freaking War Games, dude. I'm not going to not ask for that. And then, of course, Buried Alive and Casket matches. Again, these two matches are more wildcard types. Like, I'm not expecting these matches. But special guest referee, I mean, I'm expecting it every year at this point. So, yeah. So those new match types definitely need to be in the game, no doubt, 100%. The next thing on my list is in regards to the Backstage Area. Now, the Backstage Area is actually a very good bright spot of 2K22. It's a very large open space. There's a lot to work with, a lot of space. You can climb the higher levels. You can throw people from the very top onto the concrete ground. It's very cool to mess around with, but the problem I have is they took out areas of the 2K19 backstage, and very important 2K19 backstage. Now, the problem with the 2K19 backstage is it's much smaller in compact space. Actually, you can make an argument that it's bigger than this still, just going through each hallway. That's not for me to decide, but the 2K19 backstage area where they had the parking lot, the interview area, I would like to have some of that back into the game. Just continue on and add on to the 2K22 backstage area, but make it bigger and add an actual better parking lot, add the GM office area, add more interview areas, just add more spaces to the 22 backstage area, because the 22 backstage area is a good building point to build off of. just expand on this whole area, and I'll enjoy it very well, in my opinion. That's what I would do with the Backstage Area. The next few things are in regards to gameplay. First up, chain wrestling. I mean, this is a good starting point. You start matches like this very often. Not every match is going to start with chain wrestling, I get that. But the chain wrestling is where you build your starting point off for matches, and 22 doesn't have that. They have the collar and elbow tie-up. You can edit the moveset, you can maneuver around, and you can see and make it work. You definitely can make it work, but it's too much of a hassle to work with. Bring back, like you're seeing on the screen right now, the 2K19 chain wrestling, and don't just recycle things from old wrestling games. Just build off of the chain wrestling from 19, but add more combinations, add more movesets, add more moves and combos to the moveset, and add more to the chain wrestling. You don't just have to copy off of 2K19. I'm just using 2K19 as a basis and a reference point because 2K19 was the last game to have chain wrestling in it. Also, for the love of mankind, as Michael Cole said at WrestleMania 32, and I'm just giving him a little bit of crap. He actually did a great job at Extreme Rules with the commentary, but that's besides the point. Please get rid of the dang stun meter. The stun meter is awful. The stun meter is one of the worst things to be added to the WWE games, bro. It's so bad, dude. You have to do so much work just to be able to reverse again. Get rid of the stun meter once and for all. I can't stand it at all. Some also things that I wouldn't mind if these were in the game or not, but I'd prefer is the blood. I like the blood better in 2K19, to be honest with you. The blood actually looked like it was pouring out of the person's head, and a lot of people were saying that the 22 blood system is better because in 19 it looks like they just spewed ketchup all over their face, but I still think that looks better than 2K22. In 22 you can barely see the blood at all, so that's one improvement I would have, along with the ability to choose between simulation and arcade. Now I can't totally put the blame on 2K for having it be arcade in 2K22 because people ask for that, and rightfully so. When you play 22 with friends, it's a fun experience, but when you're uploading Universe, for example, and that type of content, the arcade style, it kind of messes up the flow of recording a simulated Universe mode where you're trying to make it look like it's real life. So I would just add the ability to toggle back and forth between simulation and arcade, to be honest with you. I know they have the sliders, but let's face it, those sliders don't really work well. So just let us be able to toggle between simulation and arcade so we can separate the content creators from just the players trying to have fun with their friends, which neither side is in the right or the wrong. I'm just saying this is what we need. As far as the MyGM and Universe mode, the actual in-game Universe mode, as far as those things are concerned, I'm just gonna keep it simple and straight to the point. The options are very minimal. Basically what you do is you improve Jnw to make it how it was in the SVR days where you had much more to work with, like how in 2K22 you don't really have that much to work with. After beating it a couple times, you're going to get bored regardless, but if you just make it like how it was where you have the ranking system and you have a proper draft and you have, you're actually competing against other shows, have it like that. And then the Universe mode, Universe mode, everyone's been saying this for the last 5 years, it needs a dramatic change. It needs an upgrade. I'm talking power ranking system, I'm talking draft, I'm talking just anything that you could imagine that you would want in a Universe mode, they need to have in the game. It's not hard, it's simple. And the other option, in my opinion, would be to just combine the two modes and call it MyGM Universe and just make it one big mode so that you don't have to work on two, you just work on one massive mode. But hey, I'm not a dev, so what do I know? But that's what I would do for the MyGM and Universe mode side of things. The last section I will be going over for the wish list that I have created today, it will be the Creation Suite. This is my favorite aspect of the game every year. The bright spot in 2K22 was the cross-platform community creations. It's amazing. I hope that stays in the game. I don't know if it will stay in the game. Hopefully it does stay in the game. But the one thing that comes to mind is advanced entrances. Again, a lot of the things on this list are simple things. I don't know why this was taken out. I heard some people say that it was because in 2K20, the advanced entrances played a role in 2K20 constantly crashing. Listen, if you actually believe that, I don't know what to tell you. 2K20 made 2K20 crash. Everything in that game made it crash. So let's not just blame one simple it's a simple feature. Advanced entrances is one of the most basic features in the game that should be in the game. So that's definitely a small thing that doesn't make that much of a difference, but if you're a universe mode creator and you like to create your own entrances and add different parts to the entrances, advanced entrances is important. Especially people who like to create their own cars and do my career. Creating an advanced entrance is a small aspect of the game that makes a big difference. It makes your player, or it makes your universe mode look more realistic, basically. Create a finisher and create a story. Yes, this is on my list. This is on everyone's list, to be honest with you, but the probability of these two modes ever coming back is very small at this point. I mean, I think 2K22 was the perfect opportunity to bring these two back, and they didn't. Although I did hear a report that 2K23 might have create a story back or something like that. I will be very excited if that's the case. If not, I mean, at this point, I've been asking for create a story for such a long time. But hey, it is what it is. I hope create a story and create a finisher can finally make it in. The chances of it actually making it in, probably very small. But it's still something I'd wish for myself because they're fun. They were fun modes back in the day. And I'd like to see them have and be brought back, and I'd like to see a modern day twist added to them. So those two are definitely always going to be on my wish list for as long as we don't get it back. It's always going to make the list. This last section is going to be a thing that maybe not people who play the wrestling games for content purposes, but I know my universe creators out there, if you're watching, you're going to relate to what I'm about to say. This is an idea for universe creators. We need the free roam camera back for the creative video mode and for the cutscenes more specifically. In this mode, in 22, they took out the free roam camera so that you can't have different camera angles and switch it up on the cutscenes. And not only did they get rid of that, but they also have in the promos now, the promo cutscenes in 22, when you select a promo cutscene, the default camera is set like 50 feet away from the ring. So you can't even see the guy you can see the guy talking in the ring, but it's not a realistic promo. It's just not realistic at all. We need the free roam camera back, and this is again for universe creators and people who make custom stories, really. But this is a very small detail that needs to be in the game because it's important. Us universe creators, I mean, I don't know about other people, but I love personally using cutscenes. I mean, let's just look at the 2K19 right now. I'm on 2K19 and this is amazing. I mean, look at him. Look at all the angles I can get in this promo in 2K19. Then 22, I can't even get this. I mean, just take a look right now on the screen. This is the example I used. It's carrying across a car on 2K19. This is a very simple yet effective angle for a promo. I can't even get this. I can't even get this close in 2K22. Just let me change the cameras, 2K. This is a simple thing. Again, I don't know why they took it out. But that's pretty much going to be it for my wish list for this video. That's pretty much going to conclude this wish list, guys. I know I didn't get into modes like my career and my faction. I mean, my faction, I don't even touch. The only reason my faction looks appealing is because they have attires in the game that is only specifically for my faction. If I were to say one thing about my faction, it's you add all the wrestlers that they add into my faction, but add to the exhibition mode so us universe creators can use those attires, but 2K is not going to listen with that one. My faction, I could already tell they're about to make that pay to win. That's what happened with the first My Team in NBA 2K. The first year was all fun, fine, and dandy. Didn't really have to pay to get anywhere. But in the future wrestling games, in the future WWE 2K franchise, mark my words, there will come a point where microtransactions run the My Faction mode. So I'm not even going to touch that mode. My career is a simple topic. It's a simple mode to really get into. I mean, the one thing I'd say about my career is have the more cutscenes, more branching storylines, and more than just 10 hours of main storyline. Like, this is what happened in 18, 19, and 22, is after you do the main story, which is about 10 to 15 hours, you end up getting these side quests, and you just face the same people over and over. Gets repetitive. You just play matches. I would say add more cutscenes and add more storylines. Maybe go 20 hours, maybe go 30. I don't know. but just more branching storylines, stuff like that. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. Please like, comment, subscribe if you're new. Let me know in the comment section what you want in WWE 2K23. It's been your guy, Nick, and I'm out for now. Have a great rest of your day. Peace.